Imagine there being more plastic than fish in our oceans. That unfortunately is a sad reality we live in today. Our oceans claim more than 17.6 billion tons of waste annually, according to Conservation International. Planet Aid is a nonprofit organization that advocates for our environment by conducting global research. And in this speech, I will provide facts from the research they have done. We as a society need to drastically change our habits in order to save our dying oceans. First, I will describe what currently plagues and poisons our oceans. Second, I will examine the issues with desecrating our ocean, as well as current political policies that are implemented. And third, I will discuss potential solutions. So, what is significant about ocean pollution? Our oceans have experienced decades and even centuries worth of damages that have significantly impacted our Earth. And by 2050, the ocean will be entirely made up of waste, which means more chemical exposure and less seafood. Considering that our oceans provide us 70% of the oxygen we breathe and 97% of Earth's water supply, it is impeccable that we allowed our actions to come to such calamity. Studies show that not only littering damages oceans, but chemicals solely produced by humans are being absorbed in the oceans. Planet Aid claims that 30% of these man-made CO2 emissions are infecting the ocean. We also struggle with maintaining land runoff. This often occurs when there is an overflow or flooding of excess water that contains animal waste, pesticides, petroleum, and fertilizers. Planet Aid's research confirmed that 36% of oil enters the ocean from land runoff. Also, toxic oil spills are also a harmful component and difficult to clean up. It was reported in 2015 that 12% of oil entering the ocean that year was from oil spills. And lastly, littering various materials such as cardboard, plastic, foam, and many others have an impact on ocean pollution. Each material takes a different amount of time to degrade in water, such as plastic, which takes 400 years, cardboard takes about 2 weeks, and styrofoam takes about 80 years or more. Planet Aid has observed that in the most polluted places in the ocean, the mass of plastic is more than 6 times the mass of plankton. As time goes on, the condition of our oceans will continue to worsen and create more garbage patches. Littering, oil spills, and land runoff have drastically increased throughout the years and will continue to do so if we do not remain attentive to this issue. So how does this directly affect you may ask? We reap what we sow. If we continue to force feed plastic down the throats of our ocean inhabitants, it will return directly back on our sushi. According to Planet Aid, chemicals such as pesticides, lead, other heavy metals found in polluted water can contaminate water supplies and food chains through the marine life affected. There are many other potential ramifications of consuming contaminated seafood and water supplies, such as hormonal problems, nervous system damage, kidney damage, and reproductive problems. Mercury contamination has other side effects such as potential heart disease, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's disease. Our communities and political leaders have implemented policies to assist in the conservation of our ocean. Although they are not properly enforcing these rules and regulations, and it shows because there is still major damage being done. Not just by agricultural runoff necessarily, but by major corporations who have offshore facilities. Our local beaches have guidelines such as littering fines and restrictions of certain activities in attempts to lower the ocean pollution rates. However, the majority of the national policies passed were all established over 50 years ago, and it was fitting the conditions of the time back then. The likely health risk that we face can be avoided if there are stronger strategies in place, which is what I strive to see. So what can you do to help this cause? There are a plethora of ways to contribute to this cause both actively and passively. If you can get out there, you can always help from home by simply reducing waste, reusing resources, and recycling water bottles and cans. Recycling will help limit the amount of waste that enters the ocean. Oceanic Society says that only 9% of plastic is recycled worldwide, which is a very, very low number considering how much plastic there is in the ocean. Reducing the use of single-use plastics such as plastic bags, plastic water bottles is another effective way to eliminate pollution, as well as participating in beach cleanups. Also river cleanups too, because that's where a lot of the other pollution happens. And many don't realize the effectiveness of signing petitions and supporting bans, but enacting bans to promote single-use plastic will drastically help. From the resources given, there are many ways to help from home without having to actively participate. Ocean pollution has immensely increased within the last century and will continue to worsen without affirmative action. It is caused by a lack of awareness of what goes on into our oceans. The current policies that are in place are shown to be ineffective. However, there's still an opportunity to support this cause by doing your part by starting in your household. Something as simple as recycling and using reusable water bottles can definitely help. Something as simple as signing a ban or petition will also help the impact and well-being of our environment.